This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, hello there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe on this date. And on this day in 1988, George Bell did something that has only been done a few times in baseball history, but he was the first. George Bell became the first player in Major League history to hit 3 home runs in one game on opening day. So opening day was fair and all that. There were 9 games in the majors that day. Milwaukee crushed Baltimore 12-0. Detroit somehow beat the Red Sox in 10 innings. The White Sox beat the Angels. The Reds needed 12 innings to beat the Cardinals. The Giants beat the Dodgers. The Mets beat the Expos 10-6 at Stadium Peak. But that wasn't the big story. The big story was how the Mets did it. The Mets put up not 1, not 2, not 3, but 6 home runs to set a record for opening day home runs, including Darryl Strawberry's moonshot that almost got out of Olympic Stadium if it wasn't for the fact that there was a concrete ring surrounding it. That would have been weird. Oakland beat Seattle and Texas beat Cleveland. But this game would be huge. Blue Jays would take on the Royals April the 4th, a 2:30 game on CTV. Reason why is because I watched the replay of the George Bell 3 home run game, and that was CTV. Across the way from Kansas City, Missouri, was Kemper Arena. And Kemper Arena would be hosting the 1988 National Championship basketball game between Kansas and Oklahoma. Kansas would win the game, thanks to Danny Manning. Anyway, so the Blue Jays were going into Kansas City trying to dust off the demons of 1987 because of their epic collapse when they had a chance to go 4.5 up on the Tigers in the AL East, but failed on the second last Sunday. And then Toronto proceeded to lose every game thrown their way by, I believe, Milwaukee. Yeah, by Milwaukee and Detroit again. Of course, the Blue Jays went into the final 3 games of Detroit needing 2 wins to win the division. 1 to 4 to have, if they only win one of the games, it would be a 1-game tiebreak, probably at Exhibition Stadium on the Monday. And if the Blue Jays didn't win a game, then the Tigers would win the division. You can probably guess what happened. Regardless, the Blue Jays also had another bit of turmoil. Even though that George Bell somehow won the 1987 MVP when he shouldn't have. It should have been Alan Trammell. I know there were times the Jays got robbed of MVP awards, but I don't think George Bell deserved it in a sense. Just because he hit home runs? That's big. But George Bell didn't hit the most home runs in the American League. I mean, if you did it by that merit, Jesse Barfield would have been the 1986 AL MVP. But regardless, the Blue Jays had a tournament with George Bell. They wanted George Bell to play DH so that they could bring a young Sil Capasano up and play him with Mosby and Barfield in the outfield. You don't break up the Bell, Mosby, Barfield outfield. George Bell said, I'll play DH at times, but I'm not going to be the full-time DH. He wanted to play spring trading, brought some problems. George Bell refused to bat at DH against the Phillies, so he was pulled. He left the field. He was fined. He almost got traded. A lot of people thought that George Bell was being a diva. Most people think that George Bell had a point. I mean, George Bell wasn't the best defensive outfielder out there. So the Blue Jays went into Kansas City to take on Brett Saberhagen, who had a knack of having great regular seasons, only when the year ended in an odd number. 85, 87, 89, 91 were good years, but the other 86, 88, 90 weren't. The Blue Jays would send Jimmy Key to the mound against Brett Saberhagen. Jimmy Key was a pretty good lefty. In fact, the best left-handed pitcher in Blue Jays history, I must add. David Wells was kind of a whiny diva in a sense. And I can't think of any good lefties for the Blue Jays. It's not because of bias, it's because I just don't know. So anyway, Jimmy Key would face Brett Saberhagen. The Blue Jays sent up in their starting lineup Nelson Lariano, Lloyd Mosby, Tony Fernandez, George Bell at DH, Rance Molnix, Ernie Witt, Jesse Barfield, Fred McGriff, and the aforementioned Sil Capasano, playing center field now. The Royals had Willie Wilson, the legend Willie Wilson, Kevin Seitzer, George Brett, still on that team, Danny Tartabull, Frank White, still with the Royals, Steve Alboni, Bo Jackson, Mike McFarland, and Kurt Stillwell. So the Blue Jays season did not start that well. George Brett hit a home run off of Key in the first inning to make it 2-0, scoring him and Seitzer. And then George Bell, on the first pitch of the inning in the top of the second, hit a home run to left field, making it 2-1. And then on a 2-2 count, down 2-1 in the fourth inning, Bell hit a home run to score Mosby, 3-2. Mosby actually came up, scored because he reached on an error by Balboni. Jesse Barfield hit a sac fly to make it 4-2. And that was it. Kevin Seitzer hit a sac fly to make it 4-3. And then came George Bell. After Mosby and Fernandez were taken out by Saberhagen, it looked good. And then George Bell on a 2-1 fastball hit it to left field, shocking everyone and putting it into the park for the third time. So George Bell, I guess DH did kind of work out for him for this game, mostly. And the Blue Jays won the game 5-3. So that was a huge win for the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays would parlay this into a chase with the Red Sox for the AL East, which saw the Red Sox beat the Jays. But the George Bell DH experiment didn't really happen after April. After 1 month, Sil Campusano was just struggling mightily, and he was sent to the minors. And then Bell got to play left field, and then the Blue Jays had to scramble for a DH, but they could see what they can do. The Royals wouldn't do that much in the 88 season either. Well, George Bell would spend time with the Jays until 1991 when he decided to go to the Cubs. He would subsequently go to the White Sox. But anyway, George Bell was a pretty good hitter. I mean, he thought he could DH once in a while. And that's what the Blue Jays and Jimmy Williams should have done. He wanted to play left field. I know he wasn't the best defensive outfielder out there, especially after 1985. But, still, he wanted to play every day. You can trust him, can't you? Can't you? Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.